What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. With Madden 22 on the verge of release, I think it's time that we finally ran through the end of this season. We've put ourselves in a very good position to this point at 5-1, especially with a 1-5 Jets team on the horizon here. So I think that what I'm going to do in today's video, we're going to go ahead and advance through the rest of the season, and then we're going to get you guys some playoff action. We're going to try to pack that all into one video, so hopefully you guys enjoy. And I really want to cap off this franchise in a good way and end things on a positive note here, whether that just be a playoff appearance for the first time here with this organization or whatever that might be. Just looking forward to capping this off and finishing this out and rounding it out in a good way. So let's go ahead and try to advance through the rest of the season, see what happens with the team. I'll keep you guys updated as we move through. Like I said, yeah, let's see what happens. One thing that I do want to note is I've mentioned in a couple of videos that I'm going to be potentially bringing over auto-generated players from my various franchises into franchises on Madden 22. So one thing that I want to note here is some players like Kerry Crisp, for example, maybe even a Nick Biggs or a Hayes or an Arrington, various different players, maybe even some of these defensive stars that we have on the team like Rick Carr. Some of these guys have the potential to come over to our Madden 22 series, so if that's something that is interesting or intriguing to you, make sure you let me know in the comment section as well. If you guys are interested in potentially submitting players and having control over their careers and things like that within our various franchises on Madden 22, that is potentially a possibility. I have some things set up for that where you guys can potentially submit draft prospects. You can maybe submit a free agent player at a certain overall level, and you can control their contract negotiations at certain tiers. You can control where that player goes out of free agency and stuff like that. So if you have any interest in being involved with stuff like that, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section, because I'm trying to gauge interest on whether it's worthwhile to do that or not, or to hold off on it. Like I said, if you are interested, let me know in the comment section below. So, quick update here. After that Jets game, we did advance to 6-1. Now we have the Jaguars here at 4-3, and this is actually an interesting matchup because it is a competitive game here for the division, the top of the division. Now, if they beat us, they wouldn't technically take the division lead, but it could hurt our chances moving forward. So at 6-1, I'm hoping we can come away with the win here, but the Jaguars are a pretty tough team this season, so let's go ahead and see what happens in that one. So we did take the 17-14 loss against the Jaguars, unfortunately putting us down to 6-2. However, we do have a 1-7 Bears team here on the horizon. A couple of pieces of news here. Titus Howard is finally back from injury again. I wouldn't count on him being around for long, though. And then outside of Titus Howard, we did get one new injury, and that was left guard Dalton Spiegel, now out for 6 weeks with a quad tear, and hopefully we'll be back by the time we make our playoff push. We did get business done against Chicago 21-13, so that advances us to 7-2. As you guys will see in the division standings, that is a key win because the Jaguars are trailing now very close behind at 6-3, and the Colts are 5-4 now. So there's the potential for various teams there to be competitive with us as we continue to move throughout the season. We also have a tough game here at home against the Raiders. Interesting thing about this game, though, we do have a dev breakout challenge for Keith McDougal, the cornerback. Very rare for me to ever get dev breakout challenges. I very rarely ever get these, but if we can hold the Raiders to less than 100 yards passing, or force 3+ turnovers, or get Keith McDougal 3 interceptions, force fumbles, tackles for losses, or sacks, he could go up to X Factor. So, some pretty big news here. Keith McDougal did actually earn X Factor in that game. So Keith McDougal goes up to X Factor, is our only X Factor on the team. I believe at one point in time, Rick Carr might have had X Factor, so I can't necessarily say McDougal was our first. But certainly a good one to have as our X Factor on the defensive side of the ball. He's been fantastic for us so far. We did get business done against the Raiders in a very close game, only winning by about 2 points, and so we are continuing with our winning ways. Hopefully we can finish out the season strong. Albert O unlocked both Bulldozer and Red Zone Threat whenever he went to Superstar. So I guess he went to Superstar earlier in the season after our Dev Upgrade Challenge and got Bulldozer. However, after this most recent upgrade where he got up to an 85 overall, he got Red Zone Threat. So really nice set of abilities there for him. Pretty fitting for a guy that we utilize at tight end quite a bit. And then I also wanted to point out here that this was a simulated game, but Nick Biggs finished 22 of 27 passing, 291 yards, and 6 passing touchdowns, and won himself AFC Offensive Player of the Week, which is absolutely phenomenal. This dude is on track to have a great season and lead us to the promised land. But again, we do get our business done against Tennessee, 27-17. We move to 10-2 on the season, followed by the Jaguars at 9-3, who are absolutely tearing it up right now. We obviously have 4 games left on the season, so it's going to be crucial to get some wins here. Our schedule is interesting with the Packers, the Patriots, the Colts, and the Dolphins left. This is probably going to be our hardest matchup out of any of them, the Packers being 9-3. I don't know the record of the other teams, but the Packers at 9-3 are looking like a pretty solid team. We are at home, so I'm hoping we can come away with a nice victory here. We came away with a very close victory over the Packers at 25-23. We do have the Patriots coming in as an 8-5 team, so they are pretty solid. Let's go ahead and take this opportunity to look at the playoff picture. We are currently sitting in first place in the AFC. I don't know if that's going to hold up, but we do also have the Jaguars hot on our heels right now. Various other teams right there that are being competitive with us for that standing. So 9-4 with the Jaguars, and I wanted to take a look at the actual standings so you guys could see from an AFC perspective. We are tied with the Browns at 11-2. Now it would take some significant results to happen for the Jaguars, Patriots, or Chargers to take over this spot, but it's not completely impossible. As far as I know, I could drop I could drop 4 games. I could drop all 4 games. I am locked into the playoffs at least, so that's good news. We will be getting our first playoff appearance here, but trying to hold on to that 1 seed if possible. We got an absolutely huge win in Week 15, 31-7 over the Patriots, which is setting us up for a nice finish to the season with the Colts and the Dolphins remaining on the schedule. We do have Dalton Spiegel, the left guard, finally returning from injury, so that is some welcome news, but we did pick up one more injury here, and that's going to be wide receiver Keegan Fuller. Not a huge part of our offense, but always hurts to have somebody go down towards the end of the season like that, because that means you're not going to have that player for playoffs. Doing really well though at 12-4, and as things stand in terms of the AFC at this point, we are now looking at 1 game, or rather half game ahead of the Browns, however you say that, and looking pretty solid that we're going to at least win our division. So I'm confident to sim out to the playoffs now and see what happens. All right, and here are the final standings going into the playoffs. We have us, the Oilers, as the number 1 seed following a fantastic season. We have the Browns as the 2 seed, the Chargers as the 3 seed, and the Patriots as the 4 seed. The Jaguars do make it in there as the 5. The number 6 are the Bills, and the 7 are the Raiders. From the NFC side, we have the Cardinals clinching a number 1 seed, which is really interesting. A lot of people think that they can be that good in real life. I don't know that I agree, but it is intriguing to see that they have that potential there. The Cowboys as the 2 seed, the Packers as the 3, the Falcons as the 4, the Rams as the 5, the 49ers as the 6, and the Seahawks as the 7 seed. So we'll see what happens here resulting from the wild card week, and we'll see who our matchup gives us. Let's go ahead and simulate this one forward live and see who our opponent will be in our first playoff game here with the team. So it's going to be the Buffalo Bills at 9-7, and I don't mind that matchup. Very often that can be a tough matchup, but luckily we're at home, so we don't have to go up there and play in the snow. We do have the Browns matching up against the Jaguars, so 2 of the tougher opponents here in this bracket. We have the Cardinals now playing the 7 seed Seahawks, so an upset there, and then we have the Packers going against the Falcons on that end of things. So, Nick Biggs, I know some people questioned me giving him that giant contract after his one good performance, but Nick Biggs threw for 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns and 8 interceptions on 65% completion. He had an absolutely fantastic season for this team, an elite season at that, with a 111.7 QBR. So very happy with his performance, and very happy that he basically earned that contract for us. From a rushing perspective, Kerry Crisp did everything that I expected him to. 1,400 yards on the season, 17 touchdowns, and only 1 fumble the entire season. So Kerry Crisp is entering elite territory with his performance that season. From our receiving core, Albert O actually led the way. We did get significant contributions from Wendell Callahan and Lee Arrington, as well as guys like Jack Hayes and Kerry Crisp. So this one's interesting because if you add together Kerry Crisp's rushing and receiving yards, he was over 2,000 all-purpose yards and over 20 total touchdowns if you add together his touchdown totals. So an absolute monster performance for Kerry Crisp. Really happy to see that one out of him. Defensively speaking, Patrick Pierce, the star young player for us, led with 109 tackles. In a sack category, David Montague, 10.5 sacks, Rick Carr, 9.5 sacks from that D tackle position, and then a handful added from other players like Connor Evans, the superstar. Doesn't look like he does have superstar still. Jeff Eppard with 4, Patrick Pierce, so on and so forth. And then with their interception total, Keith McDougald, it's a no wonder that he got himself up to X Factor. We're talking about a guy that had 6 interceptions for the team, which is a very nice total, especially considering how many games we simulated. 3 for James Goodrich, 2 for Noah Weatherspoon, the middle linebacker, and 2 for Kendrick McMahon, as well as 1 and 1 for Pierce and Williams. I want to see if we had any defensive touchdowns or any forced fumbles. We did have 1 forced fumble by Keith McDougald. Surprise, surprise. No blocked kicks, no safeties, and no defensive touchdowns. I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't take over and play some more of those games because we probably could have gotten Nick Biggs an MVP win, though he did finish second in MVP voting here behind Kyler Murray. No surprise there, though, because he had an absolutely monstrous season, all things considered, and that team had a very nice season. Matt Patricia won head coach of the year for us. From an AFC perspective, Nick Biggs does win offensive player of the year, followed by Kerry Crisp in second. I don't think we had anybody on defensive player of the year. Offensive rookie of the year, we did have Carlos Steele on the list at least. Defensive rookie of the year, I don't think we had anybody here. Best quarterback, Nick Biggs does win the award. Kerry Crisp wins best running back. Best wide receiver, we didn't have anybody on that list. Significant, though Wendell Callahan did get onto the list in total. Best offensive line, you know it. We had a lot of the best offensive linemen on our team, especially considering the rushing performance of Kerry Crisp. Laramie Tunsil, Netani Muti, Dalton Spiegel, Luke Burr, all very, very good players for us. We did have David Montague on the defensive line list, though he did not work his way towards the top. We didn't have anybody on the linebacker list, and Keith McDougald somehow gets beat out by Trayvon Mullen for Best DB of the Year, and then Best Kicker of the Year, we've got number 4. It's looking dark in our stadium, so this isn't going to be the best visual game to actually watch, but we'll start with the ball off the opening kickoff, and I'll show you guys the first drive. Hopefully we can get something done on the first drive. Once we get the first drive out of the way, we'll go ahead and do highlight format from there, and hopefully we can make this a really nice performance. Steele with a great run. Second play of the game, Carlos Steele, I think it's Carlos, gets a 19-yard rush, breaks a tackle, does a fantastic job out of that power formation of setting us up nicely here near the 50-yard line. Kerry Crisp going to get the ball, breaks a tackle, and gets us up over the 50-yard line. So we are in territory, opposition territory, I should say, and primed and ready to put some points on the board. Hopefully we can keep it together here. I see a lot of superstars all over the field there for the Buffalo Bills defense. Jack Hayes makes a nice reception. Nick Biggs dumps it off for a nice, easy completion here to start. Let's go ahead and try to air it out. We're going to go with verticals here on this play, just see if we can't get some separation with somebody. We do get Hayes down the sideline, and a beautiful throw and a beautiful catch That'll take us down to the 2-yard line. Jack Hayes looking like he's going to be a strong performer for us today. I'm going to go ahead and change this to a halfback dive and just see if we can't power it forward with Steele. Steele does a nice job bouncing around and gets us in for the 7-0 lead here early in this one, giving us the lead with about 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Pretty quick drive, all things considered, but we did a very nice job of working our way downfield. And a very quick 3-and-out sets us up for another offensive drive here. The Bills did basically nothing with their drive, and Kerry Crisp is going to beat the safety, makes a man miss. And unfortunately, we did not get a block, but he's going to get us down to the 44-yard line. So, don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. Very nice play, very nice run there by Crisp. Really great blocking in front of us. If we could have gotten the block on the safety down here, we would have had a shot at a breakaway touchdown. We're just going to have to work for it a little bit and see what we can do here from about the 45-yard line. We cleared him out. Biggs decides to take off and run. Gets us up to the 23-yard line. That's going to be a 21-yard rush. The Bills' defense is struggling to contain this offense today. And if we're going to have territory like this, like I said, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but if we're going to have running room like this all day long and passing room and stuff like that, I don't see any way we can lose this game. Steele having a great day as well. Already up to 30 yards. Might be his highest total of any game on the season yet. Kerry Crisp powers forward for the first down. No, they didn't give it to him. All right, we're gonna have to earn that third down. They give us, or earn that first down. They give us 3rd and inches. So we're gonna have to hand it off here to the fullback Todd, who does do a nice job of getting himself about 5 yards. Callahan goes down with the injury. We're going to try to punch this one into the end zone real quick. And a nice little throw. He is able to get into the end zone. That's going to give us a 2-touchdown score. Nick Biggs finds his man. I don't know what kind of a route that was. It was a zig or something like that, in and out type of a route. Cuts up into the end zone. Nice job shedding that tackle, powering his way into the end zone, and Medlock is going to put us up by a second score here. And I tell you what, Nick Biggs is in MVP form today. I don't know if him not winning that award did something or what, but he goes and takes off for another scramble here, gets a nice little chip block from Jack Hayes and picks up another 20-25 yards on that scramble. He is absolutely carrying this team today, though I can't say that the others aren't helping. They are doing everything they can to get this win and put this team in a position for an AFC championship run. Nick Biggs is going to drop back to pass. He has his man Alberto open over the middle. He hits him with the nice, easy touchdown. That's going to put us up by 3 scores, 21-0, and we're going to be running the ball to try to chew clock here in the second quarter and try to just run away with this one. Honestly, our defense has been fantastic to this point. Honestly, a very nice route, very nice throw there by Biggs. Gets us ahead by 3 scores. Don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. I know I've said it like 3 or 4 times today, but great performances so far by the offense and the defense. I'm going to bring you guys in for the next third down. I don't know what's been going on with the offense here of the Bills, but they just have not been able to find success. We're going to call a cover 4 situation, and they're just going to dump it off for 4 yards. So you guys can see a lot of the same from the Bills offense today, and this is what has been setting us up with good field position, because they're getting it down here at not very good field position. They're getting backed up due to penalties, holding penalties and stuff like that, hurting themselves and putting us in pretty nice field position. And we've just been working our way downfield. They can't stop our offense. Nick Biggs is going to hand off to Kerry Crisp. Kerry Crisp breaks a tackle, gets himself down to the 9-yard line. You guys can see 66 yards for him today. He is also adding a very nice performance on the ground in addition to what we're doing through the air, so you guys can see how balanced this offense has been. It's just been a matter of them not being able to stop anything we're doing on the offensive side of the ball as we're knocking on the door once again, and we're about ready. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to double tap for a tempo. Chew clock. Trying to chew a little bit of clock here. That way we can just get out of the half, probably here with a 4-score lead, and hopefully get out of here with a win and get ourselves to an AFC Championship game. Kerry Crisp gets himself into the end zone for the touchdown. It is going to be a 4-touchdown lead. We're going to be trying to just escape this game without any injuries. And we'll be seeing maybe the Jaguars, maybe the Browns in the AFC Championship game. And we just played it pretty conservatively here all the way to the end. We do come away with the win. We are going to be advancing to the AFC Championship game, so you guys will be getting to see that in the next video. And if we win the AFC Championship game, I may make the Championship game and the Super Bowl I video if we make it there. You guys can see how we dominated in pretty much every single category today. Surprisingly enough, we didn't have any takeaways. The Bills' offense just stalled pretty much every time they got the ball. They just weren't very good. They did end up putting some points on the board. We come away with the 41-21 victory. The quarterback situation there for the Bills just wasn't very good. I don't know what they have going on there. I don't even really want to look at it because it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. I'm assuming maybe somebody was injured or something like that. But very nice performance by our team. Let's go ahead and advance to the AFC Championship game and see who our opponent is for the next video. And I'll also have to check that injury to see so that you guys can see who the major injury was. So that's actually going to be Kerry Crisp that went down with a partial MCL tear. So I wanted to wait and reveal this one until we got out of the game because that is absolutely huge. It means that we're going to have to rely on our power halfback and maybe even Jalen Samuels to carry the load as we go into the AFC Championship game. This is a brutal injury to receive at this point. Dalton Spiegel also goes down with an injury, so these two are going to be out. And those are huge impacts for us going into these games to finish out the season. I don't actually recall Dalton Spiegel getting injured, so I don't, and that one's like really significant. He has a complete MCL tear and out for absolutely the season. No way Kerry Crisp will have enough time to come back or anything like that. But that'll do it for this video. We have the Jaguars, our division opponent, who finished the season at 11-5. We will be facing off against them in the AFC Championship game in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.